YouTube just updated everybody about a new policy change coming into effect on July 15th, and it low-key shook the AI Faceless channel space. On Twitter, there was multiple tweets of people saying that AI channels are dead, but weirdly enough, the comment sections of those tweets were a mix of relief and also worry at the same time. But here's what's actually going to happen. I'm going to break down exactly what this new policy change means, which channels are actually at risk, and most importantly, the 3 specific strategies that you can implement right now to make sure that your channels are safe. These will help protect your faceless channels against future policy changes as well, because I want you to build a real long-term business with YouTube. But first of all, let me give you some context that will completely change how you view this crisis. So most creators who do faceless YouTube videos like myself are completely panicking about this new update. But what if I told you that this wasn't even new at all? In fact, YouTube has been rolling out many similar policy changes over the years, and the channels that understood those changes have been succeeding enormously, while other channels got wiped out. So what exactly is YouTube going after then? Well, if you follow the strategies that I've taught you on this channel over the years, you'll be completely fine, do not worry. But there's one type of channel that's about to get absolutely destroyed. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen channels like this on YouTube that do these revenge story type of videos, but after speaking with a lot of people and looking into this update a lot, what I've seen is that a few channels like these are the ones that are getting targeted by this new YouTube update. Now, you might be asking, Matt, why are these channels specifically getting targeted? Well, it's because they're pushing out low-effort, high-volume formats of content that could be completely automated with a bot. Now, YouTube has a very interesting take on AI, which I'm going to get into that a little bit later in the video. But first of all, I just want to show you the channels that are mostly going to get affected by this, in my opinion, and also what I've personally seen a couple channels get affected by this update so far. They're doing videos similar to this. So taking a look at these videos right here, as you can see, they do like these revenge stories. And basically what they're doing is simply going to Reddit, scrubbing Reddit, like this channel right here called Revenge Realm. They're actually pulling in 600K views, which is pretty good, but they're basically just scraping Reddit stories and then getting an AI to read through those stories. And if you take a look at this, it's literally just a software that could be reading through this with a very clearly robot AI voiceover as well. And they're not really giving any additional value outside of just stealing content from Reddit and then putting a voiceover on it. First of all, that's not really legal to do, to just steal people's stories like that. You want to be adding value on top of those stories, and that's what YouTube wants to see. And like I said, I'm going to go over 3 secrets on exactly how to give as much value as possible to make sure that you're safe forever with your YouTube channels. But I just wanted to show you these channels right here that are kind of doing this in the wrong way, in my opinion. Now, I've spoken with a couple people on Twitter who know people who are affected by this, and what they said was that the channels currently that are getting taken down are ones that literally just put one photo on their video and then just stole a story from Reddit. They told me personally that there's other channels that put multiple different photos and multiple clips in the backgrounds of the photos, and those ones have appeared to be fine so far. But that being said, my personal recommendation would be to stay away from channels like this. I think there's a right way to do channels like this, which would be to write completely original stories, and those stories making it very clear that it's like a storytelling channel, putting in a little bit more effort in the thumbnails as well to make it seem like these aren't just, completely AI generated with a ton of text on them and everything, like it's just copy pasted from something. You want to make it seem like it's not a bot making these videos, because you do want to be involved in making the videos. Now, AI is completely fine on YouTube, but only if you use AI the right way, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. So to my personal knowledge, this is the only type of channel that's been affected so far with this, but in my personal opinion, I wouldn't do anything that could be considered highly produced AI generated content similar to this. So I think that if you were to do a channel in this niche, go overboard making sure that it's given as much value as possible. That way, when all the just clearly AI generated from complete scratch videos are wiped out, your videos will be safe. So if your channel looks like it could be completely run by a robot with no human intervention whatsoever, then your channel's in danger. You want your channels to actually give value, and like I said, I'm going to give you 3 tips for that. But first of all, I wanted to show you a tweet that somebody put out and then YouTube's response to that tweet. So somebody said that YouTube is cracking down on unoriginal content with a major monetization change. Starting July 15th, channels that do not meaningfully transform clips risk losing monetization. This includes reaction channels, compilation pages, and more. And if we go to YouTube's response right here, they said not exactly. So to clarify, this is a very minor update to our long-standing YouTube partner policies to help us better identify when content is mass-produced or repetitive. This type of content has already been ineligible for monetization for years and is content viewers often consider spam. So in my opinion, what YouTube is saying here is that they've had these rules for a long time. This is nothing new. But what is new is that they're going to get better at detecting this type of content. Now, I personally have been doing YouTube for a long time at this point, and I've seen back, like for example, in 2016, a lot of compilation channels were actually demonetized, and some of them even got banned overnight because they weren't giving any type of transformation on top of their content. So this meant that people who were just making, for example, scary video compilations where they just took a bunch of videos, put it in a video, upload it to YouTube, those were the ones that were affected by that. However, other channels, like for example, Top 5s, they did things the right way because they had a voiceover throughout the entire video. Another good example is like Nuke's Top 5s as well. And they gave original commentary and their original thoughts on top of the video. And those channels would be what, in my opinion, would be a good example of fair use, which is a legal doctrine that states you can use other people's clips, but only if you make it transformative. And that's what those channels did good. So YouTube, at least in my opinion, they're trying to follow the legal system as much as possible. And so they don't want people just uploading compilation videos, for example, unless they're compilations of your own videos that you already own, or you're making them transformative in some way. Another type of channel that YouTube has cracked down on are meditation channels. And this has been long-standing, like YouTube said, for a long time. But basically, they don't want people just uploading, for example, rain sounds for 12 hours if you didn't personally record those rain sounds and if you're just stitching together content that a robot could clearly make. So this is type of content that I personally recommend to stay away from. And I say that if you did want to do, for example, a meditation channel, then I recommend doing an original voiceover, going over the meditation, doing like a guided meditation, or doing affirmations throughout the entire meditation. So I'd stay away from compilation channels, Reddit stories, and also music/meditation channels if you're not making that music custom yourself. Now here's where it gets interesting, because while everybody's panicking about this new update, I'm going to show you 3 strategies that'll make sure that you're not only safe, but your channels will actually perform better as well. Strategy number 1 is the faceless character revolution. So instead of just running a faceless YouTube channel like everybody else does, one of the biggest things that I'm recommending people within my coaching programs do right now in 2025 is to have some type of virtual persona who's the quote-unquote face of the channel. So this means that your channel can still be completely faceless, but you're having an animated character be the face of the channel. And channels like How To AI are an amazing example of this. So if we go to one of their videos right here and we skip ahead through the video, as you can see, they have a character who's basically the face of this channel. And you can easily generate a character like this on something like ChatGPT. And the benefit of doing this on your channel is you're actually building IP along with building a bigger connection with your viewers as well. So even if you have completely faceless channels, you can have somebody be the face of those channels. It makes it a lot easier to sell things as well. And another example of how this could be possible is looking at the channel called Warren Stick. So this guy's literally just does Stickman animation videos, and he has this consistent character of this Stickman in all of his videos. And this guy's pulling in 109k views per month, and what's cool is he has a name on the channel, which builds a connection with his viewers even more in depth, so he could easily sell something with this channel, as well as building a real brand with YouTube also. So this all coincides with what I'm trying to teach more of anyways, which is for people to treat YouTube more like a business where they're building a real brand on it, as opposed to just making spammy, repetitious content that is going to, quite frankly, become commoditized with AI. So instead of using AI to make the same commoditized garbage that everybody else does, think about how you can use AI to give as much value as possible on your videos. And the way you do that is by generating an animated character, for example, and making sure in general that you're giving a lot of value with your scripts. And value can always be educational or entertainment value. But you just want to think about it from a viewer perspective. If you see this channel, do you think it's a robot generating these, or does it look like a person could actually be doing that? Strategy number 2 is the commentary shield. So doing a voiceover on top of your videos, just like this channel called Nuke's Top 5 does. While a lot of those scary video compilation channels have gotten taken down over the years, channels like Nuke's Top 5 consistently gets millions of views per month, as you can see right here, and he's been able to have that kind of longevity because he gives a voiceover on these videos. He also puts a lot of his humor in the videos, and overall, you can tell he put a contribution to those videos instead of just stealing the clips. Now, strategy number 3 is having a unique voice for your channel. I recommend 11 Labs for this, and what I recommend doing is not using the same voices that everybody else does. So if we open up 11 Labs, it looks like this. And what we can do is clone our own voice if you want. If you want to use your own voice, that's pretty cool. Like, for example, I cloned mine here, me talking to see how realistic this sounds. As you can tell, that sounds incredibly realistic, and all I did here was just record myself talking, reading some random Wikipedia pages for 30 minutes, and boom, I've got a hyper-realistic clone of my voice. But let's say you didn't want to do that. You can go to Voices, go to Voice Design, which is brand new, and now you can generate completely custom voices. So, for example, you could do an elderly Midwestern woman in her 70s. And let's say we're doing like a senior health channel, so then we could preview some text like, hey, you young whippersnappers, I'm going to show you how to be healthy and live to 100 years old easily right now. And then we can just click generate the voice, and this is going to generate a completely new, unique voice that nobody else on 11 Labs has access to that you can use for your videos. In my opinion, this is a good idea, but I would combine this with all of the other strategies as well. So there we go. Now we got the voice done. Let's listen to what this sounds like here.
Hey, you young whippersnappers, I'm going to show you how to be healthy and live to 100 years old easily right now.
That's really good. That's like insanely good. Wow. So why not go the extra mile if it means that you can keep your YouTube business for a long time? Yes, it's a little more work in the beginning, but don't you want to be, 5 years from now still running channels as opposed to just a quick cash grab where you might make a little bit of money, but even then, why risk it? So now I wanted to answer the question that so many people have been asking me, and keep in mind, this is coming from somebody who personally runs 2 different AI companies, TubeMagic as well as vid.ai. And so many people have been asking me, Matt, is AI okay on YouTube? And now, obviously, I don't run YouTube myself. However, in my personal opinion, if you look at the company Google itself, what are they investing super heavily in? Well, it's AI tools. For example, Google VO3, which is the best-in-class video generator that's out right now. Why are they investing so much in that? It's because AI videos are the future, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. In the next 10 years, it's going to become more and more apparent, and the people using these AI tools are the ones that are going to win long term. But the key distinction there that not many people catch is that they're the people using these as tools, not using them to just do all their work for them, but instead using them as the tools that they're meant to be. So, for example, if you're using 11 Labs, don't just use a standard, AI-generated script from something like ChatGPT that you didn't even fact-check anything, you don't know if it's good. Don't just copy-paste a Reddit thread and say, oh, that's good for a voiceover. No, it's not. You need to make sure that your scripts are giving unique value that other people haven't done before. And the way you do that is by taking some of the best aspects of multiple different sources out there on the internet, on other YouTube videos, and so on. You can use software like TubeMagic for doing that if you want. You don't have to use my software though. But my point is Google is all in on AI. So I think using AI tools is completely fine, but only if you use them in the right way. And overall, with this new policy update, I think people are making this into a way bigger deal than it needs to be. This new policy change is not ending AI YouTube channels. What it is ending is lazy and low effort channels that were always on borrowed time anyways. If you're creating genuine value with unique voices and treating AI as a tool rather than a replacement for creativity, you're not just safe, but you're about to have a massive advantage because all of those bad channels are the ones that will get wiped out. So everything that I just shared about these YouTube policy changes are really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to YouTube. The secret isn't just avoiding demonetization. It's building a YouTube channel that can actually do really good long-term. It's structuring your channel in the correct way and producing the right type of content so you're not just like all of the other commoditized content that's out there. So if you want to discover exactly how to do that, I put together a completely free course that's on YouTube for a limited time. You can check it out next to me right here. In this free course, I'm going to give you so much value. Basically, I'm going to break down this new way of doing YouTube that nobody's doing when it comes to YouTube automation. So if you want to leg up on the competition, check out that video right there. My name is Matt Parr. Hope you got a ton of value from this video. Hope I dispelled some myths about this new update, and I'll see you next time.